Evening. First of all, orange overalls and handcuffs. I'll put the very same question to you at Luthuli House this morning.
Well, and thanks and evening to your viewers. Comrade Dagoda Lehuete, on our behalf, did speak on this issue earlier today to show that, to demonstrate that this was just sheer grandstanding. The Democratic Alliance trying to claim and occupy some false superiority in society, show some sheer elitism, try to arrogate on themselves the mantle or title of being the public of South Africa, and go on to undermine the very institution established by our own constitutional prescript, the IEC. The IEC has received those objections and accordingly processed those. And last week, the IEC was on record and issued a statement on its own undertakings. Now, if a party that claims to be lawful exists within the parameters of the law, is not respecting of the very legal undertakings, then South Africans should be worried. I mean, if they believe that marching to Luthuli House will earn them some numbers, it is actually exposed how much they are unwilling to take the responsibility of leading the people of this country. I mean, if the DA is interested in entering the art arena, the Market Theatre is not very far from Luthuli House. They should just have gone there and auditioned for a part.
But surely, legally, one could argue that the Democratic Alliance does not have a leg to stand on.
Yes.
But morally, Mr. Mabe,
yes,
morally, even within your own African National Congress, there are concerns about the lists for Parliament and legislatures, such that the Integrity Commission is dealing with this particular issue.
Well, one of the things that you'll have to appreciate is that the process of the Integrity Commission looking at the list was a process initiated by the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress. When we set the special NEC of the ANC previously, part of the things that was done was to then say to the Integrity Commission, look at the lists in their entirety. Because a list of the ANC, you'll have to appreciate, would not be a list of all these other parties like your DA. It will be a list that has got vast representation, covering all of the 9 provinces. Because, I mean, we exist and have got structures that are lined up to almost all VDs in the Republic of South Africa.
But as the Integrity Commission completed its work at this stage?
Well, whether the Integrity Commission has completed its work or not, that is a preview of the organization internally. When the ANC, because the ANC leads the charge, some of these things tend to play themselves out in the media, even before our organization could be able to fully express itself. So the ANC must be accorded the space to attend to all of these issues. You'll also appreciate, Griselda, that the list of public representatives as submitted by the ANC has already been gazetted. Actually, what we assist with now as the African National Congress is campaigning. The entirety of our leadership is on the ground talking to communities out there.
So what we're seeing at the moment, there is no truth to what we're seeing. Is that what you are saying? Because I'm asking if the Integrity Commission itself has finished its work. Has it done is it done scrutinizing these lists as mandated by the National Executive Committee? Well,
Griselda, what I can put to you is that whether the Integrity Commission of the ANC has concluded or not concluded its work, that is a preview of the African National Congress. The ANC took it up upon itself to initiate that process. The ANC, so our organization must be accorded that respect. So, I mean, when the ANC set up the Integrity Commission, it was not responding to a national outcry. The ANC went to its Congress in 2012 and saw the need that within its own structures, it must also have an Integrity Commission to make sure that the standing of its own cadres is properly addressed and all of that, but also to send a message that we in the ANC are committed to ethical leadership and good governance.
So you say all of that has been gazetted, nothing is going to change then? You're saying you're focusing on elections at this time, nothing is going to change. Have any of these individuals, Mr. Mabe, met or sat with the Integrity Commission itself to ventilate some of these issues, some of which have quite widely played themselves out in the media?
Well, the Integrity Commission was not given necessarily a list of specific individuals. Let's start there. The Integrity Commission was given a list in its entirety of all comrades that the ANC will be deploying to various legislatures, whether it is at the National Assembly or at various provincial legislatures. Of course, when the NEC meet, it will be able to receive whatever reports or developments that would have come out of that process.
Including this report.
Well, if there is a report that requires the National Executive Committee... But surely there should be a report,
Mr. Mabe, because... it was mandated. You all agree it was mandated. So now a report must be given.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. What I'm avoiding giving credence to is media reports that tend to fly even before structures of the ANC, especially the National Executive Committee, have themselves been accorded an opportunity. Because if you give out a mandate for something to be done, it is only fair that through a due and just process that you shall have exercised yourself, you also receive that kind of feedback. So that out of that feedback, and what the ANC always does, at the end of all our meetings, it was the case even in the last NEC, we issued a statement. Comrade Dakota was on record speaking about the immediate steps or the things that the NEC shall have agreed on. Amongst those was this process of the Integrity Commission that the irresponsible and childish DA seems to have taken interest on.
Before we run out of time, Mr. Mabe, I want to get to the issue of, there have always been accusations that the Integrity Commission itself does not have teeth or has teeth for certain individuals within the African National Congress. With what we understand at this point is that, I guess, on part of those recommendations that the ANC will be afforded the opportunity to receive is reports of the Deputy President of the ANC, David Mabuza, as well as the National Chairperson, Gwede Mantashe, being on that list to step aside. Would the ANC act on those recommendations given in order for it to be seen to have teeth? Because the Integrity Commission has always been accused of not acting against certain individuals and acting against certain individuals within the African National Congress. Will the ANC act?
Crisilda, you are again asking me to comment on gossip.
But will you act? Okay.
Yes.
Will you act? Right.
Yes.
There is the document. Let me give you the document. Here it is. Let me give you the document. This is the document that you will get then from the Integrity Commission, right? Will you act on what is here on the basis? It doesn't matter whose name is on there. Will you act as the ANC? I did not mention let's leave the names out then. Will you act irrespective of the individuals whose names are on those recommendations made by the Commission? Will you act as the ANC?
The very unfortunate part is that you are bringing a question with a preemptive strike. Now, it is so unfortunate because these are things that are already placed or deposited in the media, even before the organization could be able to be accorded a space, receive a report and all of that. I think that it's rather unfair. Let us allow the African National Congress, well within its own processes. I mean, the ANC has initiated a process, and I can tell you now, if there are any developments that requires the ANC to communicate, the ANC shall do so. We've done so in the past.
Pule Mabe, the spokesperson of the ANC, thank you very much for chatting to us. Of course, talking to us on a number of issues, including the DA march to Luthuli House, as well as the issue relating to the lists and whether the ANC will act following, of course, the recommendations that are expected to be given to the ANC from the Integrity Committee. Let's go to sports.